Sydney Sweeney's face is everywhere, but her story goes way beyond the screen, and it's almost as dramatic as the characters she's played.
You guys can all judge me if you want, but I do not care. I have never, ever been happier.
Today, Sweeney is a Hollywood star with her own production company and 6 houses across the country, but her current life looks nothing like the one she grew up in. While she knew from an early age she wanted to act, her family was far removed from Hollywood privilege. Raised in a small Washington town, she and her parents took long road trips to California for auditions. By age 13, the family relocated to Los Angeles, a move that left them in financial strain. Within 3 years, they had to sell their house and live in a single hotel room for nearly a year, sharing one bed and a pull-out couch. Her parents sacrificed heavily, finding help through scholarships that covered her private schooling. Still, Sweeney stood out among wealthier classmates. As she told The Times in 2025, "My car leaked oil everywhere and I jump-started it to get it to work. It didn't really fit in." Sweeney's parents were willing to give up comfort and financial stability to help their daughter chase her dream, but everything they sacrificed left her with a lingering sense of guilt. She explained to The Times, "The moment I started acting, I could feel it. I knew this was the cause of their stress." The struggles only deepened as more time passed in Los Angeles. They spent months crammed into that single hotel room, and eventually her parents filed for bankruptcy and later divorced. Looking back, Sweeney admits she can't help but feel that her insistence on acting played a role in those hardships. In 2023, she told Variety, "My parents sacrificed so much to support my dream and they lost so much during it. I think as a kid, as the eldest, I feel a responsibility. They'll say no or they'll say yes depending on what fight it is, but I'll always feel responsible." That sense of weight has followed her throughout her career, even as her success has grown. In Euphoria, Sweeney plays Cassie Howard, a popular high school girl who's no stranger to alcohol, drugs, and massive parties. In real life, Cassie and Sweeney couldn't be further apart as people. Sweeney herself is opposed to heavily drinking or taking drugs, largely because her family has a history of substance abuse. She told The Sun, "I'm terrified that I'm going to have that addiction. There's something in my family's blood that just hits a different way when they do stuff." Even if she hadn't been scared straight by some of her family members, Sweeney had another force in her life while growing up that helped keep her on the straight and narrow. She joked to Elite Daily, "I was terrified of my mother." Sweeney's mom wouldn't have tolerated half as much of what Cassie and her friends do in Euphoria. When Sweeney disappears into her most notable role, it's a chance for her to experience a personality that's completely unlike her own. The HBO smash Euphoria gave Sydney Sweeney her breakout role and spotlighted her emotional range as an actress.
You don't understand, Nate, is I am crazier.
Without the complicated, often heartbreaking character of Cassie, her life today might look very different. The role not only raised her profile, but also turned her into one of the most talked about young actors in Hollywood. Though she takes pride in playing Cassie, Sweeney admits her relationship with the part has been complicated because much of the public conversation centered on her nudity rather than her acting. She told The Independent, "This is something that has bothered me for a while. I'm very proud of my work in Euphoria. I thought it was a great performance, but no one talks about it because I got naked." Sweeney contrasted that response with her work in White Lotus, where critics praised her performance rather than her body. For her, the difference highlights a double standard. Male actors rarely face the same scrutiny when they take off their clothes on screen. She told The Hollywood Reporter she hopes speaking up will spark more honest conversations about how audiences judge actors. Sweeney may not appreciate the way some people talk online about her more mature scenes, but she didn't have problems filming them. Sweeney has said that despite the highly explicit content in Euphoria, she's never felt uncomfortable on set. She also credits series creator Sam Levinson for being willing to listen to his actors and adjust his scripts from time to time. Unfortunately, not every work environment is as comfortable and easygoing as the Euphoria set. Sweeney told The Independent, "I've had experiences where I want to go home and scrub myself completely raw because I feel disgusting." In contrast to her experience with Levinson, Sweeney said that she's been in some productions where explicit scenes felt like they were out of place for her character and just forced into the script. She hasn't always been able to push back in those moments, and they've been some of her worst experiences in the acting business. Having the entire world talking about her is just a regular part of Sweeney's life. In the past, Sweeney has talked about her struggles with social anxiety, and the attention she gets now doesn't make that kind of anxiety any easier to manage. She told Teen Vogue, "It definitely puts me down some days. I think that it does for everyone, even when you say it doesn't, it does. Turning it off helps, being surrounded by real people helps." Connecting with real people in the real world may be Sweeney's ideal way to unwind, but she said that even real-world connections have gotten harder for her to maintain. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "I can feel my bubble of who I can talk to and share intimate things with and have relationships shrinking.
Hey.
Yeah.
She said that as she's gotten more famous, not only has her social circle shrunk, but she's also found that people are less likely to take her seriously when she talks about her personal problems. For the most part, Sweeney doesn't let internet comments get to her. She might have a bad day here or there after seeing something online, but she usually tries to tune out strangers and stay focused on real life. That approach didn't hold in 2021, though, when Sweeney saw that she was trending online after trolls called her ugly. She went live on Instagram to confront the hate in real time.
I think it's really important for people to see how words actually affect people.
She made it clear to those who advised her to ignore the chatter that it was easier said than done.
And I know everyone says, like, you can't read things and you shouldn't read things, but, like, I'm a person.
Later, she admitted to Cosmopolitan that she had gone live at the end of a particularly rough day, and while she felt embarrassed afterward, she didn't regret showing a vulnerable, genuine side of herself.
I don't know. People need to be nicer on social media, because it's really f***ed up.
Angus Cloud broke into the acting world thanks to Euphoria. He played the drug dealer Fezco on the show, and fans of the series loved Cloud nearly as much as his co-workers. But the actor, who was just 25 years old at the time, passed away in his home in Oakland, California on July 31st, 2023. The Euphoria cast reacted to the loss in a big way, understandably devastated to lose a friend who lit up the room both on camera and behind the scenes. Sweeney, saying it was one of the hardest things she ever had to write, posted a memorial on Instagram in which she wrote, "Angus, you were an open soul with the kindest heart, and you filled every room with laughter." She told the BBC that she didn't think she'd be able to process Cloud's death until she was back on set with the rest of the Euphoria team. As brutal as the loss was, Sweeney fortunately had a whole cast and crew of people mourning alongside her. Sweeney has shown her range across comedies, dramas, and horror films, so it wasn't surprising when she jumped at the chance to add a superhero movie to her resume.
Why would I need to do that?
Unfortunately, her comic book debut came in 2024's Madam Web. The Sony film was set in the Spider-Man universe, but like Morbius before it, failed to impress without the web-slinger himself. Madam Web followed psychic hero Cassandra Webb as she unlocked her powers and teamed up with future Spider-Women, including Sweeney's Julia Cornwall. Sweeney said she was excited by the superhero training and by her character's emotional depth, but whatever drew her in didn't land with critics or audiences. Reviews, including our own here at Looper, called out the film's major flaws, and it went down as one of the weakest openings for a Marvel-related release.
What is going on?
For now, Madam Web stands as a short-lived detour in Sweeney's otherwise impressive career.
I'm so sorry.
Sweeney grew up far from Hollywood, so her rise to stardom has come with plenty of culture shock. She's admitted that some of the attitudes she's encountered in the industry have left her unsettled, particularly the lack of loyalty among peers and the competitive edge that seems baked into the system. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "Show business is built to try to make you backstab people. It's insane." Sweeney added that these kinds of issues aren't openly discussed, not even with her Euphoria castmates. Instead, she's learned by experience just how cutthroat the environment can be. She's also been outspoken about how women in the industry treat one another. While speaking to Vanity Fair, she explained, "This entire industry, all people say is women empowering other women. None of it's happening. All of it is fake and a front for all the other that they say behind everyone's back." For Sweeney, Hollywood often pushes the idea that success is a zero-sum game, particularly for women. By calling out the double standard and talking openly, she hopes to spark an honest dialogue and begin shifting those toxic dynamics. Alongside the major sacrifices her parents made to help her become an actor, Sweeney herself has given up plenty to get where she is today. She's constantly working, chasing opportunities to expand her career, and dealing with the pressure and isolation that come with success. For the most part, Sweeney was prepared for these sacrifices.
That's obviously not true.
But there's one part of her life she didn't expect to lose when she started acting: her privacy. Speaking to The Times about her personal life, she said, "A lot is gone, like privacy, which is huge. You don't realize how much that means until you lose it." She says people often dismiss her loss of privacy, assuming it was simply traded for fame. But as for the reality of the situation, she explained, 18-year-old me had no idea what she was signing up for.